I need to ask you a question. Be curious, Drifters.
Amelia's Jewel hits the front. Immature is coming right away for Damien Oliver. Bella Nipotina, and boy, doesn't she deserve this.
The Giga Kick's got a strong kick.
Golden Mile, soar out the mile. I'm thunderstruck over the top. Mr. Brightside has won the mile.
And Militarised blows them away in the Champagne Stakes. And she's a class act, pulling right away, Prowess. And Zoo Gotcha won it by 2.5.
Zaki joined by Animo, who looks destiny in the face.
I had a bit of a different way to start this episode.
Yeah.
Bit of nostalgia.
Oh, nostalgia. Okay.
Yeah, so what I wanted to do was basically rate, and this was inspired by Darren Flindell's call of Hot Nash on Think It Over.
Mm-hmm.
Top 5 calls we've heard.
Yeah. Okay.
You've had zero input into this, but I thought I'd just present my top 5.
Okay.
All right.
So this is spot.
So obviously, my top 5 is going to be heavily influenced from the recent years, right? Since we've really got into it. But there's a few historical ones that we had to put in there. So the first one, I'll just play it for you. You would have seen this.
Here come the New Zealanders, our Waverley Star and Bone Crusher. They've raced to the lead, 600 out. Have they gone too early? 2 lengths to Drought, running up the third from Society Bay. They were followed then by Drawn Under the Whip at the head of the others, Dinky Flyer. But our Waverley Star, he got a half length to Bone Crusher. He's gone for the whip on Bone Crusher. 3 lengths to Drought, followed then by Dinky Flyer and Drawn. But the 2 great New Zealanders have come away on the turn. Our Waverley Star, a half-length Bone Crusher. The Big Red won't give in. Drought running on. Bone Crusher responds to the whip. The roars of the crowd. He races up to our Waverley Star. 100 out. Bone Crusher, our Waverley Star. Stride for stride. Nothing in it. Our Waverley Star, the rails. Bone Crusher, the outside. And Bone Crusher.
How has Bone Crusher won that?
I have no idea.
The Big Red.
What year was that?
1986.
1986. Yeah, he looked defeated. He looked on the canvas a couple of times, the big fella.
So shout out to you, Bill Collins. Some of your best work. I also think he was the one who did the famous one with Kingston Town. Kingston Town can't win. I'm pretty sure that was him.
Was it? Okay, right.
Yeah, so that was a huge one. You'll like this next one. I'll put this at my number 4.
The Alligator Blood, 300 metres to go. Then Animo, who's joining in. Back behind them, Young Verta. Around the turn, Zaki, joined by Animo, who looks destiny in the face. At the 150, Animo takes the lead from Zaki. Alligator Blood, I'm
Listen to that crowd.
But it's Animo clear. I'm thunderstruck late. Animo holding on. Animo, this time for the big A.
Listen to that crowd, mate.
It's insane.
They erupt as one. How good is that?
Oh, yeah. Joined by Animo, looks destiny in the face. Like,
could you think of any others for Matt Hill? I was thinking Incentivise. That was good, but it was like, 4.5 length win for
the Caulfield Cup.
Yeah, but it's
that was pretty good.
It was pretty good. He just he's like, well, I have nothing else to scream about here.
Yeah. No, nothing off the top of my head for Matty Hill, but he is obviously world class.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, my favourite, I think, of all time is Greg Miles. Now, this is
now as they come down the straight was Benny Rowe, and back behind them here's Makybe Diva. A nation roars for a hero. She's starting to wind up. 300 left to go now. Makybe Diva's racing up. Envoy's trying to go with her. They've got to Portland Singer and Lachlan River. Here comes Like a Falcon and excellent, but Makybe Diva clear with 100 metres to go. Excellent runs to second. Olajoon runs on, but a champion becomes a legend. Makybe Diva has won it from.
Champion becomes a legend.
I just love, and something that live sport is just unparalleled at. It's just the noise of the crowd.
Yeah.
When they're up, imagine how many punters would have been on Makybe Diva.
That would have been a significant loss for the bookies that day, because just the punters, but more importantly, the once a year punters.
Yeah.
Like your mum would have a fiver on Makybe Diva.
Yeah.
Like your girlfriend who doesn't watch the ponies at all would have a fiver on Makybe Diva. The bookies were reeling.
Of course.
Yeah, it was a significant blow in the war against the bookies.
100%. This is Darren Flindell's best.
Chautauqua.
English goes after Fell Swoop. Russian Revolution's run his race for the back to Voodoo Lad. It's English and Fell Swoop fighting it out. Chautauqua very late. It's English a half length in front. Can he do it? Chautauqua, he's flying. Yes, there's history. Chautauqua makes it 3 in a row. That is unbelievable. He got up to beat English and Fell Swoop.
Chautauqua, he's flying.
Russian
Damn.
He was. I don't think horses can run much faster than what Chautauqua did at the end.
Nah, I don't think so. And this is the best call of all time, and I'll tell you why. Because it was Lonhro's last run in Melbourne, so they were seeing him off before he went to finish off his career in a Queen Elizabeth in Sydney. He was hell of a career, Lonhro.
He went around for a while, the big fella.
Yeah, and it was just a winning machine.
He really was.
And he started $2 this day in the 2004 Australia Cup, and it all just went wrong, but Greg Miles was up to the task.
Take the leader in the straight from Mummify. There's the gap coming for Lonhro. Sound Action tries to pocket him. Beatman in a bit of trouble trying to force through. He got checked, the champ, and Sound Action hit the front now from Mummify. Lonhro, the champion's in desperate trouble. Del Zayo's gone past him. 150 to go. He's got to the outside. Del Zayo in front. The crowd roaring. Go, Lonhro, go. But the 3-year-old's in front. Del Zayo. Lonhro, he's coming. He's going to get there. Yes, Lonhro won it. What a champion. What a way to go! He beat
It's just like, again, the crowd's just lifting, and they were lifting with Greg Miles as well.
Oh, there's nothing like it.
Yeah, it just sounded like Greg Miles had an absolute fortune on him that day as well.
Do you know what you should do is you should overlay the commentary by Matty Hill on Anamo's Cox Plate.
Oh, with you,
with
you boys,
with us. That would actually be an all-time TikTok.
That would be funny.
Yeah.
Well, I know what I'm posting on Cox Plate Day this year.
Put him away. Oh man,
so good.
So good.
Hopefully, whoever's calling it Hawkesbury tomorrow in race 1 puts up one of the greatest performances of all time, because we have a runner resuming.
We do. For the Chris Wallace stable, I think he's got half the field again. Yeah, Kiana, little fella. He's not a very big gelding, Drifters. But he's resuming at Hawkesbury race 1 tomorrow about 1:05 p.m. So set your alarms, put a note in your calendar and your diary, and tune in. Look, I'm not sure what price he is. I haven't looked with the good people at Ned's.
$13.
I thought he'd be double figures.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a nice each way. Play Drifters responsibly.
Yeah, stablemate Betuselam will be awfully hard to beat at $2.60. And shout out to Sneesby Racing, who's got an interest in both.
He's also got one other in the race.
Well, it could be an absolute dream day for him.
It is. What's the name of the horse? It's something with Verve in it. Well, technically, it's his wife's Justine, but yeah.
Oh, she's got Verve.
She's got Verve. That's right. So,
there you go.
So look, 3 chances in the race. You'd hope that if you're Craig Sneesby, you're winning that race with one of your ponies.
You're hoping. Now, will he jump to the front, or will he just jump like he does in his trials where he shows no speed? I have no idea.
Look, I'm just hoping he's a horse that shows absolutely nothing in his trials, but come game day actually switches on. So we'll see.
We'll see. Now, let's get into it. Let's get into the previews, unless there was anything else you wanted to touch on.
No, mate, I'm ready to get stuck in.
All right. Would you prefer to start with the Underwood or the Golden Road?
Well, I've got Caulfield open on RaceNet, so
let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. So Caulfield, the rail is out 6 meters. It will be a good 4, probably drying to a good 3. It'll be pretty speedy on the day, I'd imagine. So if you like anything on pace, it will probably help you. But the Underwood Stakes, 1,800 metres way for age. Alligator Blood on the quick backup.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting. But I understand it, because that means he doesn't have to come up against Mr. Brightside again. So what are you thinking for the blood? The Caulfield Stakes or the Might and Power, whatever it's called now?
He's no good over 2,000 metres.
You don't think they're going to take him to a Cox Plate?
Why would you?
I would, 100%.
Nah, I don't think
I
so.
would.
I think you take him to. I think he can win the Champions Mile again.
No, that's where Mr. Brightside's going.
Yeah, but how many runs does that horse have in him?
Mr. Brightside?
Yeah, probably heaps.
Well, that's his next target, Mr. Brightside. The Champions Mile. Blood's not beating him there.
No, they said during the week they're taking him to Cox Plate.
Mr. Brightside, can they not do both?
Yeah, they can, but the next target would be the King's
King Charles, yeah.
King Charles, then the Cox Plate, then the Champions Mile.
Right, okay. Yeah, okay. No, that makes sense. I'm getting the King Charles and the Champions Mile confused. Can the Blood win that? So that's the one that's like right at the end of the Flemington Carnival. Well, yeah, he can win that. But I don't know. I still think they'll run him at a Cox Plate and then they bring him back.
Sure, he'll run a really great 7th.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. But he'll still run there.
Yeah.
Like Pinstripe's going to the Cox Plate. Will he win it?
No.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Blood here on the quick backup, I don't mind, to be honest. He draws a gate that's close enough in. He'll roll forward. Like you said, the rail's out, dry track. Is the form that's a length and a half away from Mr. Brightside good enough to win this? Could argue that. And the other thing about him as well is like he's stirred up, so he's pretty fit here.
That was a glorified barrier trial last week.
I don't think it was a gut buster, no.
No.
So I think he's going to be incredibly hard to beat the Blood.
Speaking of guts, his gut was enormous on the weekend. You watch him.
Blood.
He's a thick horse.
He's thick.
Yeah.
He's so thick.
Yeah. He's got a big belly on him.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, I think he can win this, but I'm not with him.
Yeah. So
just by principle, like I just want to look elsewhere.
$3.30 favourite. Like I think the second favourite would be awfully hard to beat.
Without a fight, yeah. Alligator Blood, so yeah, $3.30 with the good people in Neds. He won't start at that on the weekend. He'll be shorter.
Shorter?
Yeah, I think so. I think they'll come for him.
Okay.
I think he'll be 260, 270. I think there'll be a big go. Do you know why? People don't respect Queensland form, man. They don't respect it.
Hey, he's a Queenslander. He is.
He is. But they don't respect Queensland form. So I don't think people will look at Without a Fight, who's $4.80 at the moment with good people in Neds. Like brained him in Group 3 up here. And then the Q22, which is Group 2 weight for age. Brained him. I don't think people are going to look at that and pay it the respect, I think, and you, I'm assuming, think.
Oh, he's the clear class horse in this race. And I'll tell you why, because he wants to feel his bones rattle.
Loves it.
He is no good with any given the track. A good 3 for him is cherry ripe. He will be rattling home this thing because what made me fall in love with this horse was his Lord Mayor's Cup win, because sure, he was only beating the likes of Luncy's and Berdebeck, but there was a savage on-speed bias that day.
Yeah.
And he came from third last, and it was one of the easiest wins, most impressive wins I've ever seen. And then he just went out and did it again in the Q22. I think he's that good. The really, really smart horses, the really elite ones, they can overcome bias. So if you do want to be on speed, I'm just backing him that is that good that he can overcome it.
Yeah, I think that's fair enough take. And with that turn of foot that he showed us up here, like you can get yourself out of any sort of trouble.
Yeah, he can
find yourself out of the swamp.
And I think the one thing that is, I'm looking pretty forensically at this horse, because I'm not only backing him in this, but I've backed him in the Caulfield Cup for months now.
Yeah.
Not only him, but backing him into other doubles in futures markets with Neds as well.
The good people at Neds helping you out there.
He's about $11 to $12 now. If he comes out and wins this, he'll be $5 favourite.
How does it work with winning this and looking at weights for a Caulfield Cup, is this exempt? Or
This is a ballot exemption, but I don't
Yeah.
know if that means, because I think if you win the naturalism, but if you're in the right weights, you might not get a penalty. But if you're below the weights, then you get weighted up. If that makes sense.
So if you're below a certain point and you
Yeah.
start winning races and you're going to
Yeah.
go up like an incentivise.
Yes, but then you're guaranteed to run. So if he wins this, he's guaranteed to run, but he's guaranteed to run anyway because he
Yeah.
has 55.5.
Yep.
So yeah, I don't know if he'll get a penalty for winning this, but I know he's guaranteed to run.
Yeah.
Zara on board 11. I'm just backing. I'm not overthinking this
Don't
race
overthink it, mate.
because the one thing that is on my mind is he's done 19 of his 20 starts, the Brisbane and Sydney way of going. He's only had the one run anti-clockwise, and that was when he was in the Melbourne Cup, but that was on last year, which was a swamp.
Forgive.
And I think he's a mile and a half horse, which is why I backed him aggressively, responsibly in the Caulfield Cup.
Yeah, I agree. He's going to be incredibly hard to beat as it looks right now in the Caulfield Cup. Like,
Yeah.
There's nothing else that I'm like, oh, gee whiz, that thing's coming up. So unless there's some weird international that I just haven't looked into too closely, but I doubt it. Yeah, he's going to be incredibly hard to beat here. He's not mine on toppy, but I am giving him all the respect in the world. He's going to be part of my betting strategy. And the only reason why is that he's not first up, but he's first up. Solcombe's second up. Like that win that Solcombe had in the Heatherly was just unbelievable. Like push a button, bang. Yeah. He's going to be last. Without a fight's going to be ahead of him, but not by much. Did he beat much in the Heatherly? You ask the question, Drifters.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. But gee whiz, that's just the win of an elite horse. Blake Shin staying on. Draws a gate, but I still think that's pretty irrelevant with this horse because he'll probably be at the back anyway. But maybe he's just a horse who, speaking of directions of tracks, going the anti-clockwise way is just the key to him. I think he can put a line through his last prep pretty comfortably, despite the fact that he went pretty well third up. Just a bit more fitness in on his side. He's looking for further as well, just like without a fight. But I just like the starting price profile. $10 with the good people at Ned's. Like, I'm not typically one to back a horse each way, but he's the sort of pony I would. Drifters. They're the two for me. I admit Alligator Blood's going to be incredibly hard to beat. Without a fight, yeah, 100%. I think he's a winning chance. Like I do think he probably does win. But yeah, I'm gonna have Solcombe as my on toppy. I've also got a futures ticket for him in a few things. So yeah, a little bit of self-interest there. Anything else in the race that you're paying any respect? Like my girl Jewess, I think she's ready for the breeding barn, unfortunately. Attrition level below these, Lindemann.
Oh, Lindeman's no good. But
he's no good.
I think that's a bit harsh. He's good. He's not. He's not. Not going to make it.
Mate, should have got that up for the best calls of all time.
Yeah, I think he's just below these. Huey Bowman, in the saddle adds a little bit of interest.
Could he unlock him?
But attrition, Barry 15, awfully hard. Luna Flare just needs further, but I'm really interested to see her run onto it for a nice sixth. Honestly, mate, I'm looking at all these. I think Alligator Blood is... I think his pet distance is like 1,400 to 1,600. I think he got away with it. Like, you look at the Underwood field from last year compared to this year.
Completely different gravy.
Way different.
Completely different gravy.
Way different.
That's why I'm happy to risk him.
Yeah.
Happy to risk. And if he couldn't win the Mackay when they were going that slow last week, then,
I might have an absolute omelette on my face after this weekend, but I don't think he wins another race.
You get to stand. Oh, he might not win another race
because he's running in the elite races.
He's you're right. He's only going to win a race again if like the top dogs aren't there. I think
exactly
the blood. Yeah, mate. And the thing is, like, you were taken by Without a Fight from the start of his winter soiree in the Group 3 there. Like, you were very happy to take him there, and he was a decent price, like $8 or $9. And then you obviously took him again in the Q22. Like, you can't sing praises for a horse like that so much and not be with him. It's just illogical.
I know. So, yeah, all I'm saying, Drifters, is just have a look in that Caulfield Cup market, because if he comes out and smashes them here, he'll be awfully short. Awfully short.
Yeah. No, look, I very well think he could be my Caulfield Cup pony. Like, if I'm looking at the futures market right now,
It's 600 metres away.
exactly. So, does he have the brilliance to win this first up?
Yeah. Yes, he does.
Am I happy to take something that's second up, who also is brilliant first up? Yes. So that's my logic.
All right, $100 on him Without a Fight for me. How are you playing?
50 on each.
Yep. All right, lovely. Let's go to Rosehill and do the Golden Rose. We'll get the features out of the way, and then we'll get through the rest of the undercards. So the Golden Rose, 1,400 metres, still only worth $1 million when, all things considered, it's probably underrated, this sort of race.
It's arguably the most important breeding race for 3-year-olds.
Yeah.
In Australia.
100%.
Yeah.
So, yes, Rosehill has the railers out 2 metres, so it should play fairly. 1,400 metres, mate. So you have Cylinder is your $4.80 favourite, and I think he is drifting drifters. And then you have Shinzo at $5.50 with Neds as well. King Colorado has come in a bit since the last time I checked the markets. He's into $6. He's your third favourite. And then you have Charm Stone. I heard during the week only one filly has won in 47 editions of the Golden Rose.
Shit. So history's against her.
It's definitely is. But she's very smart. She has hay fever like Nature Strip did.
Does she?
So she needs paper.
Oh, wow.
A paper in her barn, because the hay, that's what got her in the
throat
diamond.
thingy,
Yeah. She just got hay fever like me, so I can relate to her.
You can relate.
Yeah. So I sleep on paper as well.
There you go. Well, wow. You'd expect that in the last however many editions of the Golden Rose, there's been some pretty good fillies contested and not win.
In secret last year.
True. So is Charmstone up to that level? Only time will tell. So yeah, Cylinder's your easing favourite, $4.80 with the good people in Neds, and just like a part-time off spinner. Happy to take him on. Happy to take him on.
Is that Travis Headbowl? Isn't it?
Yeah. Let me just come out of my crease and just whack you over the long on. I'm happy to take Cylinder on. I really like the horse. I think 1,200 is his go.
Yes. I just don't think he runs it out.
If he runs a blinder here, second or third, and just gets done in the last like 20, 30 metres, like he could pick up an Everest slot. I'd say fair enough.
Yep, absolutely.
Or if he contests the Coolmore and some of these aren't there, I'd be like, he could very well win that 100%.
Yep.
Cylinder. Just on the Golden Rose then, speaking of the Everest, if Cylinder wins this, does he take a Dolphin slot, or do you think they just keep in secret and then someone else negotiates Cylinder?
Yeah, the ATC or probably Team Green would take Cylinder, you know.
Yeah.
Like I think something would have to go really wrong for Godolphin not to take in secret. What is she? 3-time Group 1 winner?
Yeah.
So she won what? A Newmarket, a Coolmore. Did she win another one?
I think it's just 2.
Okay.
Yeah, but she ran second in this last year. She was obviously a very good horse. Mate, this is a cracking race. Like,
yeah.
I'm just looking at the field and where are we? It's just so tough to look at some of the form lines, because you got Shinzo who's first up, and then you got things coming from down south. You got things coming from the Run to the Rose. And there's NCAP who won that random race. So yeah, it's just difficult race. King Colorado coming out of the Wink Stakes. And he's had a bit of a gap between runs.
And did you see his trial?
Yeah, he trialled real well.
And like, he was written out, but it's how you want to see them respond.
Yeah, of course. So he's $6 with the good people at Ned's, and yeah, wow. First things first, I'm a massive fan of Militarise. This is a sprint race, even though it's 1,400 metres. I know he's got the size produce Group 1 under his belt. As a 2-year-old, different gravy. Big fan of him. Prepared to risk him here. Just straight up on that. I could see him coming home running a nice 2nd, 3rd, 4th.
What about the Magic Man?
Even though he's got the Magic Man on board, I just think these will be a bit too sharp for him over 1,400. So
hey, he's got a plate in his sights.
Yeah, Militarise has a Cox plate in his sight, Drifters. And also a Caulfield Guineas on the way, potentially. So then that just leaves a couple of horses.
Yep.
Now, Drifters, we've spoken at length. Others have spoken at length about the Golden Slipper curse. And every year we get sucked in. This is the time. This is the time when the curse will be broken. And every year, it doesn't really happen, does it?
Omelets on everyone's faces.
Yeah, 100%. Now, look, I think there is going to be a huge exception to the rule, and that's number 2, Shinzo. Mate, this dickhead backed him every single start last prep, except for the Golden Slipper. Had my money on the wrong Coolmore horse. I hope Learning to Fly is all good, by the way.
Yeah.
Just, like, do you know what placing him here first up is by Chris Waller?
Oh, he's better.
Arrogant. He's better.
He's better than all of these.
I think he's better than all these. People are saying, his job's a bit harder drawing gate 10. You fucking idiot. That's exactly where he wants to be. Look at the speed map. It's perfect. Look at the speed in this race. It's insane. So many things are going to go forward. Like, look at it. He's just going to be like, cool, I'll just park in midfield with some cover. Ryan Moore goes on. He'll find a spot for him. And I tell you what, mate, he's going to win this. And he'll start favourite for the Everest.
Start favourite in the Everest.
If he wins this, he'll start favouring the Everest. I guarantee you. Because people are freaking out about Giga Kick. I don't know why, but I think he'll win this and it starts favouring the Everest.
There's a certain moody horse that I think will be coughing down his back.
Yeah, there is, but like he's just a freak, mate. Like I'll just rewatching that Golden Slipper run. Like he went inside and went bang, but like he wasn't even trying. If you watch the horse. And by all reports, he was always going to be a better 3-year-old. So, like, I don't want to be sitting on this podcast saying, I'm a little bit nervous because he's first up, blah, 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 and the Golden Slipper curse, and not back him because of that. Like, I just want to back what I think is the best horse in the race. And for me, that's Shinzo over this distance. How crazy could it be that we have, like, a potential Golden Rose, Everest, Coolmore horse, winner of those races, going up against Militarise, who could come out of this, bounce his way into a Caulfield Guineas, into a Cox Plate, and be a real life chance there. That's bizarre to think about. But yeah, he's my pony. Obviously, just had like a 20-minute monologue about him. What are your thoughts?
All right, I'll start with my on top. That's a good starting point. I'm in love with King Colorado. I really am. Like he was held up for 300 meters in that Wing Stakes, and he still found the line so well. Soft 6 that day, not his go. Like he just flourished on the concrete that is Eagle Farm. I think he will find something extremely similar at Rosehill there. I'm just a huge fan of his action. Massive fan of the gap between runs. I think they need to keep him fresh for him to be really effective over the 1,400 metres. But I also like that he's second up because he's got that match race fitness against those open age milers at weight for age from the Wing Stakes over 1,400 metres. So I think he's the horse to beat. I'm just going to have $50 on each way on him, but there is probably, outside of my strategy, I'm probably going to have a couple other bets. What are they, you ask? Charmstone, I'm going to risk her, but I think she will finish. She's in my top 4. But there is one here that is an enormous price, and I'm going to show you why. So,
Can I guess?
yes,
Number 12, General Salute.
mate, you look me in the eye, and you tell me what's different between his run and Militarizer's run.
Yeah.
Down the outside here, he's in the all yellow. If you look up the run to the Rose here, Drifters gets headed by Militarize here, and then he picks himself back up.
He's not running straight. He's still got no idea what he's doing.
No, look at him through the line here. Smashed it. I think he's past Militarized, past the post there. He's a really, really good roughie in this race if you want to find something with a bit of value. Blinkers on, first time. And I think
That'll sharpen him up.
when Kieran's on a $30 pop, wouldn't that just prove everyone wrong that he comes up and he wins a race like this?
Yeah. I completely agree. I looked at him as well. Happy to risk him.
Yeah.
For my betting strategy, but yeah, Drifters, if you want to play in the exotics, yeah, look, I'm just putting $100 on Shinzo.
Yeah.
Yes,
And
dickhead. Why don't I back him in the Golden Slipper?
I don't know, man.
I'm terrible.
Red Resistance was scratched for me.
Yeah, learning to fly, badly hampered. Oh well.
Yes. Yeah, 50 each way. King Colorado. I think they'll come for Shinzo. I think Cylinder drifts. I'm just so keen to take him on this weekend. I think it's either Shinzo, King Colorado, or Charmstone, or General Salute, or Militarize, or NCAP,
Or horses one through to 13. Definitely not number 3. Yeah.
Anyway, that's our thoughts. Let's go to the rest of the Caulfield program. So, Caulfield Race 5 is a 1,400 metre listed race. Do you have the name of it there for me, Declan?
The Jim Maloney Stakes. Shout out to Jim.
Yeah, on your Jimmy. Now, for the 3-year-old fillies, I thought this was a little bit difficult, but if I'm backing King Colorado in a Golden Rose, then I have to back Miracle Love, right?
Of course you do. You know, this thing, King Colorado is probably going to get pumped in, I would say, come Saturday. And this girl ran second to him in the JJ by like a length or two or something like that from memory. So, yeah, $3.70 first up with the good people at Ned's. B Shin on board. Yeah, she's my selection in this race for sure. Keen to play on her, actually.
Yep. Zuccarette was pretty good behind Charmstone at the Valley. Don't know why she was back. That's not her go, but I think she's drawn a lot better here and can actually find the front from barrier 1. I think they have no other options. So that's the way she wants to go. 1,400 metres is tick 2, so she might be really hard to run down. And there is a really good roughie in this race as well for Danny O'Brien and weak-gutted dog, Jai McNeil.
Yeah, I've got something to say about him later on as well.
Miss Aria, Geelong Maiden. Have a look at this thing's prep. So, it's in its 3rd preparation, but it started 4th, put away, spelled, 4th, spelled, come out, and then it's won by 2.5 lengths over 1,347 metres at a Geelong Maiden. Was really, really arrogant. If there's a blowout in a race like this one could be the one that's that alternative form line. So I might, at $23, I might be putting her in a Ned Same Race multi top 4. The Testarossa Stakes is your 6th race on the Caulfield program. 1,400 metres listed race set weights and penalties. I thought, now shout out to Marcus, who's a drifter that's constantly in our DMs. He's a Lions fan as well, but he lives in Victoria.
Oh, cool.
And he's like, all my mates are telling me that Carlton are just going to do the Lions. And he's like, come on, boys.
Get with the program.
They get the JD this weekend. But I'll actually, as you talk through this race, I'll get the stable insight after the barrier draw because Mick Price has sent through a voice message from him.
Yeah, look, it's not ideal with barrier draw, you would think, but he's going to go back anyway. So I don't mind it too much. And if you also look at the Memsey Stakes, which I believe was his last run, just ran into a whole lot of trouble and had to come up on the inside inferior ground. Maybe at least this way, he'll be last. Maybe the last pair has some cover and peel him out at the end. That's what I'm hoping anyway. There's a bit of pace on in this race. I would say Buffalo River, he'll go forward. Bandersnatch should go forward. Corner Pocket maybe will go forward. So look, I think there'll be enough pace on for him to come round and run him down. So I think Amenable's a rightful favourite in the race.
Absolutely. And I thought Savannah Cloud was a big price.
Big price.
Huge price. $17 is actually the wrong price.
Yeah, because she won first up, didn't she?
Now, we made this mistake. She is a gelding.
Oh, Savannah.
I know, Savannah.
Yeah.
It gets me each time as well. But
bizarre.
A 31% winning strike rate, 81% in the top three. I'd almost prefer to take this horse to place over Amenable to win.
Yeah, fair.
It's going to be a better price. It's going to be right up there. Barrier 3, buckets more in the saddle.
Yeah.
Am I talking dirty to you right now?
Just makes sense.
All right, do we want to hear Mick Price's insight?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, bear with me. Let me get this up.
Hi guys, Mick Price here. Amenable, drawn 10 out of 10, not good. I think there's only one real there, the Buffalo River, Celine Gaudray on. It'll scoot its way out in front. I think there's 5 or 6 horses that all want to sort of get back rear of midfield or box seat. At first glance, I would have thought we'd nearly be going forward. I don't want to be getting back in a muddly run race and following the wrong horses or relying on jockeys to make the right decisions. So certainly if he jumped, I would be forward on him and see if we can, like I said, hold a position. The race should work out good for us and, put the foot on the gas, 400-500 metres out. He's the best horse in the race and he can win. He just needs the race to be run the right way and he needs to be in the right position during running. So anyway, look, we'll fine-tune it after scratchings, but at this stage, looking forward to him running very well. Good luck.
Probably
bullish.
Fair assessment.
Fair, yeah. Yeah, gross gate.
He's just better.
Yeah, I just hope that he's better.
His form has stood
Marcus.
up. His form has stood up all spring. So I think, you could probably, he'll be multi-bait, that's for sure.
Oh, big multi-bait.
Now, this is a sensational edition of the Caulfield Guineas Prelude. 1,400 metres Group 3 for the Colts and Gelding Setways penalties. You're a Stapati guy, aren't you? But you're also a V8 guy.
I'm also a V8 guy, so I'm in a bit of a pickle. Look, I'm leaning towards Stapati in this. I just thought his first up run over 1,200 metres when I think this horse, again, could be a Cox Plate horse, was just I'm just better than you, I'm going to put you away. I've always said beware the unbeaten horse. V8's nearly unbeaten as well. So he's just got the one failure from the size produce on a bog deck. So that's a complete forgive. Love both the horses, and I'm sure whichever one of these wins, I'll be like, whatever. It's a race in 2 for me. Leaning towards Stepati because I also like that he's just a country horse and he's just found his way to the city and he's just better. I can't split him. I can't split him.
I think she lights in with a chance. Centify as well. He's just looking for the mile, I think. But there is one right down the bottom, mate, that you have missed. This thing has counterform. It smashed Methuselah by 4.5 lengths last start. Rock Empire. I'll give you a look at this thing's win. Have a look at this.
Outside Evelyn May and Overviews going with her as Rock Empire given the cue now. Inside the 300 and Rock Empire stormed to the front and kicked several lengths in front of Wild Flash. None of the back markers getting into it and Rock Empire's really controlled this up on speed and the deep field colt's going to win for fun.
Gee
Rock
whiz.
Empire.
$19 in a race like this and he's at $31 in the Caulfield Guineas futures markets. Geordie Childs, Waterhouse Bob, Barry 1, you know where he's going to be. Give him a bunny to chase. I'm willing to have something ultra small on him at $19 that he might just be a freak. Why not?
Well found.
Why not?
Well found.
Why not?
Why not?
Race 8 is your Naturalism Stakes, Drifters. 2,000 metres, Group 3. I thought there was a clear bet here. A clear bet. But I'm interested to hear your thoughts.
All I'm going to say is that I'm glad there's a significant jockey change on my guy, number 12, Barclay Square. Wheat gutted dog, John McNeil gets the boot. Harry Coffey jumps on. That's fine. That's fine. Oh, if he's have to. He's $5.50 with the good people at Neds. Have to. If he wins, I'd probably blow my own feet off, just like bloody Tim Gurner. So I have to be with him. What are your thoughts?
I thought Floating Artist was nearly one of the bets of the day.
Yeah, he'll be hard to beat.
Yeah, he'll be awfully hard to beat. 6 weeks between runs. This is almost him first up. That was basically a barrier trial for money, what he did last start in a benchmark 100, and he was so dominant. I don't think this field's much better, although Emissary did run a place in a Melbourne Cup.
Yeah, disrespectful.
Don't think he's going that as well. I think over this distance, he's just better than a lot of these. Because like the likes of Dakin Sweet Jr., Shiraz, Goldman, they all went further. I think he's still the one over 2,000 metres that is looking for it. Barclay Square, I just don't think he's that good.
Yeah, fair enough.
So
this is last chance. For me.
Yeah, has to be.
Like that's what I mean. But I also I have to back him here.
Yeah. Blinkers on.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think Floating Artist will be in front of him during the run, and then I can't see it in my mind's eye where Barclay Square is running past him, so I can't possibly bet on him. So that's my interpretation of that race.
Yeah, mate.
All right.
Fair enough.
Let's go to Sydney, Rosehill, race 4, the Heritage Stakes. Now, this is one of your big form references each year, isn't it?
Yeah, typically I like the look of this race, and Home Affairs won this a couple of years ago. I tipped Economics in it last year and he won. And had a massive rating, and I was like, this guy could be my Coolmore horse. I don't think he even got a start in the Coolmore eventually. Where are they now? I think it's a good horses race. If you win this, you're a pretty good horse. And I think if Osmosis brains them like I'm expecting, I think he'll get a slot in the Everest. So he'll ping the gates, he'll roll forward. Bjorn Baker could have 2 in there because I think Overpass will get a run in the Everest as well. So, yeah, I'm confident. Royal Tribute is an obvious danger, but I backed Osmosis twice last prep, and he just showed the ability of a horse who's just really fast and really professional for a colt. So, yeah, happy to stay with him.
What's Nadal doing in this race? Surely they go to the Golden Rose.
He's been scratched.
Oh, okay. So he's running here.
No, he's been scratched from this race. He's in the Golden Rose.
Oh, well, let me update my screen right now. There he is. He's been scratched. I thought the barriers were really interesting here. Royal Tribute inside of Osmosis could just be that with TC on for Waterhouse Spot, just be that nagging little horse there. So, Osmosis was probably going to have to do some work early, and Royal Tribute is second up. So I might potentially be leaning his way, even though Osmosis did give him windburn last prep. So,
yeah, and I think he'll be wound up as well, Osmosis, because Bjorn wants that Everest slot.
Yep. And there's nothing like match fitness, you know what I mean?
It really isn't.
The Colin Stephen quality is 2,400 metres, Group 3, race 5 on your programs. I thought this was a big bunch of slow horses going over the 2,400. They could... What's the opposite of breaking a track record?
I don't know, getting banned for life.
So, now, Athabascan was a really impressive winner last start. You have to give credit where credit is due. He had the 53 kilos. They weren't going that quick, and then Tom Sherry was like, you know what? Let me get this thing into the race, and then he was just way too good. Verona ran on really well in that same race, and then Serpentine It's kind of failed a little bit heading to Melbourne next start, so the form hasn't really been franked, but a lot of these really just mixing up their form as they do over this distance. I thought Desert Icon with Ryan Moore could win this.
Yeah, I think so, but this isn't a betting race for me, mate. Like you said, Ruffy will come out and win this, and then another Ruffy will come out and win the next one. It's an impossible betting race for me.
Yeah.
No thanks.
Mate, so if you go to Desert Icon in your form guides, they're drifters, and you go jockey horse combination, before Desert Icon actually came to Australia, Ryan Moore won on this horse back in the UK in 2019.
What does it mean?
That would have to be like one of the biggest, if he was to ride him again and win, that'd have to be like one of the longest droughts broken.
Yeah.
For a jockey to win on the same horse again.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Because that's over 4 years.
It's been a long time.
So Desert Icon for me in this race, Ryan Moore, $6. Am I that confident?
Disgusting race.
The Golden Pendant is a 1,400 metre contest for Group 2 for the fillies and mares, set weights, penalties. I thought this was a really important race for Espiona.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at her breeding profile, you just want to tick that final box. She's won a Group 1. She's won 2 Group 3s. She's won a listed race. She hasn't won the Group 2. She could knock that off here, and then you just have a picket fence of listed and black type races.
By extreme choice, she's already worth a monster. She was great first up behind Sunshine in Paris, and she still was just like laying in as if she wanted to go the bloody Melbourne way of going. So I can understand her being favourite here. Got to stick with Zoo Gotcha. Gets to that 1,400 metres that she's been crying out for. Ryan Moore on board. Hello. Smaller field as well, which I think will suit her. I think she'll sit just behind the leaders. So I'm happy with Zoo Gotcha in this race. It's a big race for her too, because if she fails here, then you're like, is this girl ready for the breeding barn? What's going on?
She was very good last start.
Yeah. So I think she's already come in a little bit, so she might even start favourite ahead of Espiona.
Yeah. Interesting stable change. She's a belter to Annabelle Neesham. Her trials have been, her latest trial was good. Her one before that wasn't that great. And it was a trial over 1,200 metres. So I think she'll be pretty fit heading into this. And she wasn't too far away from Espiona in that Mares Group 1 as well. So, and her tissue was there or thereabouts. Yeah, it's a tricky little race, but I'm backing Espiona to get the JD. Now, the Shannon Stakes, race 7 on your programs, 1,500 metres, Group 2. I thought this was close to your best of the day.
I think so, yeah. Number 7, Waterford. He was awesome behind Golden Mile, resuming after the ultimate gear change.
Gelding.
So, yeah, because remember I backed him like all 3 starts last prep and he did nothing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he ran second behind Cepheus, and I think there was the one time I didn't back Cepheus. So, yeah, Waterford for me, $3 for the good people at Ned's. Down in the weights too, so, yeah, keen as.
Look at that starting price profile. $2.50, ran 5th. $4.40 favourite, ran 2nd. And then in a Doncaster Prelude, he started $5. Ran last, but he still had that starting price profile. And then I think the market just needed to see it again. And it was actually probably a step up in grade, first up in the Theo Marks. So, yeah, I'm keen on him. I'm really keen on him. I think he's a really, really nice bet.
Yep.
There's not too much speed in the race either. I thought Crosstalk will probably go forward with Magical Lagoon. Cepheus will probably be up there, but then you have Waterford probably next best. Just getting the run of the race sort of stuff. Tyler Schiller, 54.5. Yeah. Yes, please.
Yeah, I think he's a cracking bet, mate.
How I wanted to end this was just tell the drifters about a dream that I told you about a month ago.
Yeah.
So I should have probably had Shinzo on top because of this, but I had a dream, drifters, that Shinzo came out and won the Golden Rose, and then he returned as a 4-year-old and won the Golden Eagle, which meant that he was eligible for the $5 million bonus if you win the Golden Slipper at 2, the Golden Rose at 3, and the Golden Eagle at 4. And your response to that was?
that'll never happen. It'll never happen. Just with him, because he's owned by Coolmore, they could have retired him already. Like if he fails here, they might retire him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's already worth the Mozza. Like he's a blue blood who's won the Golden Slipper. Like on his nuts. So if he wins the Golden Rose, and I think you mentioned it, if he wins this, runs in the Everest, runs well there, runs in a Coolmore, runs well there, they'll pull the pin on the Autumn as well.
Yeah.
They won't want to risk him.
No. Like what's possibly at stake? Maybe they try and, because during his 2-year-old prep, I'm like, oh, I want to see this horse out to the mile. Maybe they go for like a Randwick Guineas or something. Maybe tick like the sprinting and miler box and just be the next big thing. And then maybe if they get greedy, go like, all right, let's take him to the UK, and he wins like a race over there. And then they're like, all right, you know what? There is some cash left in this in the bank.
Yeah. Look, could it ever happen? Could what is it called? Like the Golden Slam or something like that?
Yeah.
Could it ever happen?
It needs to be a filly.
It needs to be a filly.
Yeah, because gelding's not going to do it.
No. No, it needs to be a filly, and yeah, it needs to be like a Fireburn, but just on steroids, mate. And she was a very good 2-year-old. So
she proved to be a pretty good 3-year-old.
Pretty good 3-year-old, yeah.
Just not tippy top.
She's not A1.
Group 2 3-year-old. Anyway, that's it, Drifters. All the best. Go the Lions. Go the Bronx.
Go the Lions. Bronx. See you, Drifters.